would all kind of go around and have our own place to watch the sun come up. And I stood on the stupa every morning about 6:30, where we had the prayer flags that came in right at the high point of our camp. And I don't think there's anybody that was at base camp that day that will ever forget, first, the sound of the helicopters, the cadence.
Single worst tragedy ever on Mount Everest. That ferocious avalanche eyewitnesses describing a crisp, clear day, a hail of ice and snow that struck out of nowhere.
We were a little bit late because there was a lot of equipment that needed to be sent up to the higher camps there. So we were 1 day late, and that was good for us.
I saw the helicopters bringing back all the bodies one by one, so the bodies were attached to a cord.
Today's avalanche is the single deadliest incident on Everest in history.
There were 12 of these in a row, and they just kept coming on a cadence of about every 7 to 10 minutes.
Latest reports say that at least 12 people are dead and more are seriously hurt. It happened after a high-altitude avalanche just above base camp.
Whatever is meant to be, the universe will make that happen. When I have an intention in life, I try to explain this intention and put it out in the universe so that maybe it's going to happen. A year from now, I'm hoping that the summiting of Everest will start a ripple effect for people to see that you don't have to get old as you age. If Jim can do it, so can I.
It costs close to $200,000 to climb Everest. Here he is meeting with supporters. Geiger recently got a sponsor, the CEO of a private equity firm, who's going to fund his climb next year.
I'm a pretty straight by the book guy, yeah. I'm just Jim Geiger. How you doing? Well, I don't know. 10 or 11, whatever time they had the news, I don't know.
Okay, I'll try and get to a TV and watch.
And then Channel 10's going to come tomorrow, and then Sacramento Bee is going to do a story on me. Yeah.
I was in Seattle last night.
Can you imagine?
You're going to be famous.
Oh, man. Could. Not that I want to be. That's happening. Yeah. You want something to drink?
I got my water.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, I'd like to propose a toast to Jimbo.
Wow.
And Jim has been an inspiration to me, and I'm sure to many of you. I am so happy for you and this opportunity, and I'll be with you all the way to the top. And,
Thank you.
Here's to Jim.
Thank you. Just a quick word about my friend Andy. You know, we haven't known each other a very long time, but there's been a special connection. And within 10 or 15 minutes in Antarctica, he and I already struck a deal with he's going to send me to Everest, you know, that quick. Wow. So I can't thank you enough, Andy. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Andy.
I'm not going to disappoint you. Here. So, drink up.
My name is Andy Trotter. I live in New York City, in Manhattan. Jim Geiger is a special guy, somebody I met when I was on a trip to Antarctica to visit the South Pole.
I went to Antarctica to climb Mount Vincent and also visit the penguins.
Jim had just come back with a group of climbers, and we met in the mess tent at the glacier camp.
There was a chair sitting right at the end of the table, empty.
He came over and just sat down and started talking.
What do you do? I said, well, I climb mountains. I've been to Everest Base Camp before, but I could never afford to go to the top.
And without even understanding what it was, I said, well, I'll take care of it. I'll find a way.
And then he leans forward and says, and I mean it.
And he just kind of looked at me. I think he thought, boy, this is some crazy guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about or what he's committing to.
It's no kidding, yeah. So we became friends, and
Jim had mentioned that he wanted to set the record to be the oldest American to summit Mount Everest.
Can I do it at this age? Can I be the oldest American to summit Everest?
Now, you have to understand, I'm sitting next to Jim. I'm 50 years old. He looks like he's about my age. I said, you telling me that an American in their 50s hasn't summited Mount Everest?
How old are you, about 67, I said.
I practically fell off my chair. I just couldn't believe it. You look like the healthiest, fittest 67-year-old I've ever met. I spent a good half hour talking with Jim, and as he talked about Mount Everest as a goal and as a record, I saw this guy has such passion for what he's doing. It was just incredible.
And that's how I met Andy Trotter. I hope that's not the park ranger. We have to fill out a permit.
Actually, you could write it right on the back of
Okay.
This goes on your pack.
Yep.
Here's a pen. You can take that.
I retired from you guys a year ago.
You did?
Yeah.
Where? I'm just a volunteer.
Are you?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, I work for the regional office, Region 5.
All right.
And 6 and 10.
What's your name?
Jim Geiger. They're filming me I'm on my way to Everest in 2014.
Oh, you are?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So are you filming right now?
He knows all of
Great grandfather to go to the peak of Everest.
Fantastic. Be just serious. How can we support you? You know, what are you looking at from the public people?
I haven't even given it a thought.
Okay, fair enough. You're climbing Everest for a reason. What is that? You better get it down pretty quick.
You're starting to get that question a lot. Why are you doing it?
Yeah, I answered it yesterday differently, but I don't want any flip answer about that either. It's Jim Geiger, Geiger.
Okay. Where are you from, Jim?
From Sacramento, California.
Okay. Step this way for me a little bit. All right.
Every single person has an Everest of their own, whatever that may be. I'm doing what I've always done. I've been doing this for 27 years. I don't climb the mountain lets me climb it. And there's been many times I've failed. And I want to see if I can do it. Can I still do this? That's what it's all about. I never planned to climb Everest. I never thought I could afford it. And it cost $110,000 just for the guide service, plus all the ancillary costs of insurance and new equipment. You know, we're running about $150,000 to $200,000 budget.
Tell me a little bit about your personal life.
I've got 2 daughters and 5 grandsons and 1 great-grandson.
His last wife, only a couple years older than me.
Okay, that's what you were telling her. His second wife. Yeah.
Yes.
How long was he married to her for?
6, 7 years.
Oh.
It was not that long. Not like my mom. But that was only 14 years with my mom. But I think my dad's happy being by himself. He likes the freedom of just being able to do what he wants to do.
You consider yourself an accidental climber. It seems like you're walking along. Here I am doing a little training, and someone comes up to me and goes, "Hey, there's one."
Yeah, I just never intended to do these. It's just it just shows up, and well, maybe I can do this, and I went in and did it.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Lovely. Good job. Jim is my oldest client. He's not the usual 60-plus guy. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, There's nothing usual about Jim anyway. He's one of the tough mental clients I have. He's willing to break down at every level to go to the next level. Perfect. So we're gonna go for failure now?
My trainer is TJ Watkins.
No. Okay.
He happens to be the top amateur bodybuilder in the country.
Let's go.
20, okay.
I just keep reminding him that this is all part of the process. This is the process that takes you from being just the ordinary dude walking on the street to an ordinary dude walking up a mountain being 68 plus years old. You know?
Yeah, he reminds me of that a lot. So he's very, very good at fine-tuning what I already have so that I can bring the best I can to this climb in Everest. So I really trust him a lot.
On a mountain, nobody's gonna save you. You know, you gotta save yourself, and it's a mental thing. I think failing Everest, I think failing and disappointing people, you see, I think that is Jim's biggest fear. It has to scare you, and it will challenge everything that you think you are. I just tell him, allow that to be there. Allow that fear to be there. But you just don't give it that much energy.
I was fighting this demon that was telling me, you can't do this. Yeah, I'm too old, I'm not fit enough, it's too hard, I'm gonna fall in a crevasse. All this crap's going on in your head. The biggest thing was the crevasse for me. I did not want to fall in any crevasses. I'll get used to this. It's a really awkward feeling at first. Yeah, this was never a dream of mine, never even in my consciousness for, until just recently. I've been thinking this through in my mind. I've read all the books about Everest. I've done most of the preparation to then I'll get myself in shape for Everest, and I'm starting to visualize myself actually climbing. So all the preparation now is culminating on this Everest trip. Come on. Hope there's not too many of those. I'm Jim Geiger, and in May of 2014, I will be the oldest American to summit Mount Everest, and also be the first great-grandfather to summit Everest. It's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen.
Know it.
Well, congratulations. There she is. Oh, the first girl born into our family in 38 years. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Gorgeous. You are gorgeous.
Welcome to the family. My kids and my grandkids are the most important thing in my life. And so I'm trying to keep them in my mind when I'm doing things so that they can see that I'm there for them and can be there for them a long time. Yeah. You're gonna be spoiled.
I'm nervous. I'll be honest. I'm nervous with him climbing. It's a dangerous mountain, but we just try and stay positive and have a positive outlook.
Can I do Everest? Can I knock off the biggest one there is? And not because it's there, not because it's the biggest. It's just, can I do it? Can Jim Geiger climb Mount Everest?
Don't beg your parents for money. You have to work for your money. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have you already, how many times have you already climbed Mount Everest?
I've been to base camp, but I haven't climbed it yet. It'll be my first time. Yeah.
Are you gonna make it all the way to the top?
Of course. So we're here today to visit with Eric Simonson, who's the director of the Everest Himalayan expeditions, and Greg Bernanage, who's going to be the base camp manager.
You know these guys already, right?
Yeah, I've met them before and climbed with Greg on 3 different occasions. Good to see you, Greg. Good to see you.
Come on, sit down.
What should I be paying attention to as my training that really maximize my ability on Everest?
Get used to long duration training.
Mm-hmm.
Your summit day is probably going to be, it might be 18 hours long, 20 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a long day.
So I'm already doing that, plus the long bike rides, 4 6-hour bike rides. So that's good to know, and I'll continue doing that.
And make them longer. I mean, hey,
I can do
maybe
that.
a 10-hour bike ride or a 12-hour bike ride or
Yeah.
a 14-hour bike ride. I mean, what you're really developing is the ability to monitor your gas gauge.
Mm-hmm.
So you really know what you got in your gas tank.
You're the unlikely hero, right? So to speak, because you start this thing, you don't know where it's going, but you don't even know. You just keep training, practicing, and suddenly you become one of the best on the planet at this very thing. How the fuck did that happen?
Well, what is that old adage? When you're ready, the teacher shows up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Or the funder.
Lord, part of that success for Jim and for us, and we believe also for you, includes safety. And so very specifically, we do ask that you would anoint him with safety, that he will take with him a holy reminder that he is supported by those who love him, and is surrounded by your never-ending, never-sleeping, never-departing presence. May that be his joy, his peace, and his security. In your holy name, Jesus. Amen.
I leave a week from tomorrow. Well, it's gotten here a lot faster than I was hoping, but I'm ready. Last month I was ready. I wanted to go. Let's go. And then I had still had a month left, and now it's only a week. So I'm ready. Physically, mentally, spiritually, I'm ready. I was invited by the university retirement community to give a talk. They sent out flyers, also had it advertised on NPR. At 68, I'll be the oldest American to summit Everest.
You'll be 68?
I'm 68 now.
Yes, progress.
Yes.
I mean, the last 6 months has been pretty amazing.
I
Because
heard
we
him
broke him down.
use the word elite athlete.
Yeah.
Me?
You did.
I did.
And you kind of, it wasn't like you did it with a lot of confidence.
Not quite buying it.
And she needs you to sit
He's right. It was hard to get that word out.
Yes. Own it.
Yeah.
Own it.
I'm just humbled by people that say I'm an elite athlete and that I'm doing something unheard of at my age. I just keep doing these things because I love what I'm doing. And really the best part about climbing mountains is getting back in the pickup truck and going home. And saying, I just did that. It started with that serendipitous meeting. The chair just happened to be empty. In that instant, my intention happened. I'm now going to Everest. I first met the rest of the members of the IMG team in Kathmandu.
It's an interesting point, but we don't get introduced to people ahead of time. So you show up in Kathmandu, you don't know who's going to be on your team. I first met Jim in Kathmandu. He was a day late getting here. He missed a flight. So before I knew Jim, I knew of Jim. I was immediately struck when I was talking with Jim of my dad, because they were both people that late in life, the physical element of pushing themselves was really important.
People that do this just seem to have this drive to do it. And so it all rubs off on each other. We're kind of inspiring each other to do this and get to the top.
Terrific group of people. The people that turns up on this kind of expeditions turns to be people that have done things.
So I'm working with the foundation of my hospital. I hoped that I would achieve both, so the fundraising and climbing to the summit of Mount Everest. I'm from Canada, Montreal, Canada. I am a neurosurgeon.
I'm a CEO there in a constructing firm in Norway. We build prefabricated houses.
I'm 46 years old, and I'm a retired partner at Goldman Sachs who left work about 9 months ago to train for Mount Everest.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Should I pick up? Is BBC? Yes. Hello. The objective of Nepal Mountaineering Association is to develop skilled manpower and to work betterment for the protection of mountain environment as well as promotion of the mountaineering activities. We feel very comfortable with the Western climbers because the backbone of our remote area economy is the mountain tourism.
After our time in Kathmandu, it was then time to fly to Lukla to begin our trek to base camp. There's an excitement in the air. Some people have spent years preparing for this journey. The flight from Kathmandu to Lukla takes a little bit less than a half hour. We're in a fixed-wing aircraft and flying in 9,000 feet into literally the world's most dangerous airport. At the end of the runway, there's a brick wall, and at the other end of the runway, there's a cliff. From Lukla, it's a 40-mile trek to Everest Base Camp. trek takes about 2 weeks and is designed to take that long so that we can acclimate as we go higher. Up until last week, I was just in the preparation mode. And then all of a sudden it shifted. And now here, I'm ready to go. Let's get this done. All the preparation now is culminating on this Everest trip. And it's starting to pay off. I feel much more efficient than I ever have before. Take each step with ease and not try to rush anything. Just kind of glide along as we're going up this mountain. Well, I'm enjoying the spiritual aspect of being here. And when I was inside the monastery, I felt that connection. We're at 12,300. We got to go at almost 18,000, so we got a ways to go. And now it starts getting a little bit less oxygen available, so there's going to be a little bit slower pace, probably a little bit more breathing going on as we're going, and I'm all prepared for that.
And no problems, no rush from to the Kumbu Icefall, and if you've been to the Camp 1, come back, there's no problems. Good luck for Lama Geshe. Thank you. This is good luck. You keep very careful in your pocket. Doesn't matter, no problem. Any avalanche, no problem. Any icefall, this is good luck for everybody.
My great-grandfathers, my grandfathers, my father, my uncles, all are working in the mountaineering fields. My father is a very good friend of Oritt Hillary. Oritt Hillary established the Kunjung school. It is the first school established in my region. I was one of the lucky students to admit and to graduate from that school.
Home. Write the spelling of home. Well done, Monica. And then next number 8. Write the spelling of girl. Girl. Are you a boy or a girl? Yes.
You know, just the surroundings are uplifting, but my body is not feeling that uplifted. I've been feeling kind of lethargic, wondering what's going on, but it's the altitude is 14,000. We're moving very slowly. I'm getting as much rest as I can, and yet there's this lethargic feeling I'm having. Not sure quite what it is, but I'm thinking it's just part of the acclimation process, and once we get on some steep stuff, I'm going to have the energy kick in, and away we go.
The higher you go, the less molecules there are actually to press on the other molecules. So at sea level, you have a lot of pressure, air pressure, and then the oxygen can go in very easily. But the higher you go, the more difficult it gets. Your heart rate is going up, that's normal, and also the amount of breath you take. So you breathe faster, so also when you talk, you get faster out of breath. And that's the problem with the altitude. So it takes about 4 to 6 weeks until you have the good level that you're fully acclimatized. Just listen to your body, especially in the morning. If you think I feel wrong with my head and I have some other symptoms, just stay there, or maybe even go down if it's getting worse. Just really listen to your body.
As part of the acclimation process, on the way to base camp, we hiked to Lobuche Base Camp and spent a night there to climb Lobuche Peak East. Yep. Hey, I'll even see you tomorrow. Up there, yep. Well, the group behind me is my group, and I'm not going, unfortunately. I still need to acclimate some more here. I've been lethargic, energyless. The altitude has just been sucking the life out of me, and that's not typical for me. Things are not going as I want them to go. As you can see, there's been quite a little bit of snowstorm here. Be a lot of ice climbing, but it's part of the game. The plan is to get up at 2 and leave at 3, summit by probably 9, and get back down here by noon. Going up to probably the middle peak there of Lobuche. It's just a training climb, but it's a long ways from here. Air capacity going. It's not where I want it to be. Acclimation process still is not there. They can still do it, but it's not as fast as I want it to go. So I don't know. It's just moving at a really good pace that I need to move to be safe. So right now, I'm not in the safe zone yet.
Popcorn for you, buddy. How are you? Good to see you, man. I think Jim, like any of us on this trip, have been training incredibly hard to mitigate the physical nature of pounding out 12 hours. I think it really hit everybody in different ways.
Yeah, baby.
I was seeing that at some points it was not easy for him.
It's more difficult than I thought it'd be. Still trying to acclimate. I shouldn't say try. I'm still acclimating to this altitude. My body doesn't seem to have caught up yet. I started to feel like I wasn't fast enough. I started noticing it takes longer for me to recover. It's been a challenge for me. Finally. Finally, we're going to get to Everest Base Camp today. We're very glad to get there finally after the 2-week trek. It's literally hundreds of tents. There was 39 companies there. And it's about 1.5 miles from one end to the other. It takes about a little over an hour to walk. Several, well, probably 500 or more people.
Nice work, Jim. Hold on.
The feeling that I had initially was, we're finally here. We're going to begin the real climb.
Want to sing a song or anything? Or I heard that you wanted to do a little dance or something.
No, I don't want to dance. I just want to sit and rest. I'm exhausted.
When we come here at Mount Everest, when we want to climb it, we know that there will be death. We know in advance there will be Sherpas death, climbers death, guides death. It's a known fact.
You are prepared for that when you go to Everest. People die every year. So you have accounted that into the equation before you go there.
Many of us have been climbing in a lot of big mountains around the world, have been exposed to situations where you maybe lose a teammate.
I mean, in the Alps, you have 300 deaths each year in the Alps, in Europe. So there are deaths everywhere. Mountaineering equals death.
Come down to the base of the ladder. If either of these, more than likely you're gonna hit the ground before the rope catches you anyway. So, I think about hooking the back 2 points of my crampon, hook the back 2 points, and then step down. Hook the back 2 points, step.
Backyard's one thing. Icefall's a whole nother matter.
So what's the big deal with the Icefall anyway?
Well, it's where the glacier is spilling over from the upper mountain, throwing all kinds of seracs and ice. So that's what we have to negotiate tomorrow.
Greg Vernovich, work for International Mountain Guides. I'm the expedition leader for Mount Everest. The Icefall is going to be dangerous tomorrow and next year. It's the Kathmandu Icefall. it's a dangerous place to go. The reality of it is you find your acceptable level of risk in the icefall. If that's an acceptable level of risk to you, you'll go in there and you'll climb and you'll get through there. If it's not an acceptable level of risk, then maybe you need to reevaluate what's going on and perhaps not climb through there.
The day I went into the icefall, we got maybe a third of the way up the icefall. And just my condition at that point of nearly being up at 19,000 feet, I didn't know if I was in good enough shape to come back down. And that's where I said, we got to turn around. Prepared.
It's too early.
Yeah. Not where you want to be. Okay, let's get out of the way. I'm done.
Small jump.
Oh, jeez. Very impressive. That's a long ways back.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to make sure we're stay focused for the way back down. I know you're disappointed and everything, but I want to make sure we get back safely.
That's what I want to do too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's take a quick break here.
The best skill in mountaineering is to have the ability to turn 180 degrees and walk downhill. Jim certainly had that ability to know his physical limitations.
I want to know what's happened. My energy levels dropped. Even walking across the mist tent, I'm out of breath.
Any headache?
No headaches. I'm sleeping pretty good. I'm eating. My appetite's pretty good. It's just a mystery.
So saturation says 84%, your pulse is 92. So everyone's resting heart rate here is higher than it would be at sea level.
Yeah.
Obviously, we also take it very seriously if you have symptoms with it, so the number by itself doesn't necessarily mean. Focus on keeping yourself strong, and then we'll review again in a couple of days and just see how things are going.
Awesome.
Okay.
Good. Thanks for your time.
No worries, anytime.
Got it? Because the energy to go to the top was gone. I was pretty much decided that I'm not going.
Every once in a while, you get an out on a mountain, and you may need it, or you may not. In some ways, you don't know, but that's certainly what happened here.
We've all read about things that can happen on Mount Everest or in the Icefall, and I think for a lot of people, it all became real that day.
First, I heard this noise from up in the icefall, but right afterwards, I heard the radios starting to go off there, and I realized that we had an accident.
A developing story from the top of the world. Crews in Nepal are looking for hiking guides who went missing on Mount Everest this morning.
It was just before 6:30 in the morning. That's when a massive cleaving of ice and snow came crashing down the mountain.
The accident on Mount Everest happened in the Khumbu Icefall just below Camp 1. Those missing are said to be Sherpas.
They told me something wrong is going on the mountain and one person has been injured.
There were potentially 4 to 5 people.
Then it was 7 missing.
Latest reports say that at least 12 people are dead and more are seriously hurt.
This is real stuff. These are dead bodies.
In the single deadliest disaster on the world's highest mountain, 16 Sherpas were killed.
All guides known as Sherpas, those experts who risk their lives helping others conquer Everest.
This is the biggest incident which happened on Mount Everest in the history of Everest expedition.
But Jim Geiger, a 68-year-old climber, is alive and well.
Why am I here? What do I do now? Haven't made a full decision yet, but it's becoming clear that I need to be safe. And yesterday was just a very big wake-up call for me, and I'm sure everybody else too.
It was just one day, but then we would have been there. And I think that dawns on many people when they see dead people coming down there.
Even if I'm used to medical emergencies, catastrophes, I'm never comfortable with death. I always had the problem to see a dead person, even if I'm used to tragedies in the hospital. And the amount of bodies was quite impressive.
Hello? Hi, Shelly. I'm at base camp right now, and it's so good to hear your voice.
Oh my gosh, you have no idea how good it is to hear yours. Are you gonna go? Are you gonna continue?
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure I want to subject our family to that pressure anymore. And the mountain is still there. It's always going to be there. The record is immaterial to me right now. You guys are most important in my mind. And I just want to get back home.
Yeah. Well, we want you home safe. That's the utmost important.
Yeah.
We want you home safe.
Yeah.
Most definitely. A selfish pursuit.
Bye.
You stay away from your family for a long time, and you put your own life at risk here, and that will definitely affect your family.
Wow. Man, I needed that.
Many of the climbers are from my village, from Kumjung, as well as surrounding areas. They are very dedicated people. They work very hard, and they expose themselves to this risk and endanger their precious life. There are 47 children from this family.
Mr. Geiger, this is Steve Large at Channel 13. How you doing? Given what's happened, are you still planning on trying to summit Mount Everest?
Well, right now, there's not even a certainty that anybody will be able to do that. The Sherpa pretty much closed everything down for the moment because they all went home to their families and the funerals, and they're due back today, later today or tomorrow morning.
Then we had this puja, this memorial, where I felt everybody stood together during this very beautiful Buddhist ceremony. But then something happened. It started to change a little bit.
Because of what happened on the 18th, 16 lives we lost, this Nepali climbing community would like to make something out of this event and make something positive. So, has a great request from the workers that they have put together some demands towards the government. One of the biggest requests from the workers in this base camp is to not continuing climbing this year. We know that's a great big ask, but it's somewhat small compared to the 16 lives we've lost in this mountain on the 18th. So we hope you will cooperate with this demand.
There was an element brewing in camp that was quite activist in nature, understandably so, among the Sherpa community. Not just agitating for change, which is long coming and much needed, but also really to make sure that no one was going to go to that icefall or up the mountain. This had changed from just being a tragedy to being something that had a larger agenda.
एकचोटिलाई रोकेर दीर्घकालीन रूपमा तपाईहरु समक्ष हामी नङ्ग्र मासुको सम्बन्ध कायम गर्दै यो पालीको लागि तपाई विदेशी तथा नेपाली दाजुभाइहरुले.
So I would say that most clients wanted to climb. This is my impression. They wanted to climb, and the companies wanted to climb.
And as mountaineers, I can only do my job, which is to be a great mountaineer. And that's all of us in here. Anybody who works up here, anybody who makes a living, the guys coming up the valley to make a living, to put their kids in school. All that starts with how great we are here, how great we are up there, how great those 16 guys are that we're remembering every day we wake up. I can't speak for one side politically or the other.
To put the pressure to the government, I hope that all the Western friends, brothers and sisters from all over the world, and all the Nepali Sherpas, my friend, my brothers, let's put a hand together and let's request the government to support these people. Thank you very much, guys.
As a leader of the mountaineering community, I request the government to set up a fund, a climbers' welfare fund.
I couldn't climb that mountain without a lot of support, a lot of Sherpa support. And again, we took the decision then to go.
Sitting in a tent, not expecting any major news, one of the guides came in and said, "Hey, we got a meeting. The expedition has been canceled. We're pulling off the mountain." There is a sense of relief, knowing that this is over and I don't have to make any more decisions. It's been made. I don't have to worry about going through the Icefall and, oh, am I going to do this? Is there any chance that I would still stay around and go through the Icefall? That's all been taken care of. It's done. We're over. I went up to base camp for a purpose, and that was to climb Mount Everest. Now that it's over, you just look at things a little bit differently. I'm not a super dude. At 68, my priorities have changed since the accident. It's not about the mountain getting to the top. It's not about the record getting to the top. It's about respecting the Sherpa and respecting my family. But it's going to be okay. Yeah, I'm disappointed that we didn't have a shot at it. This is the biggest tragedy in mountaineering history. And so it is what it is.
It's a very shock and sad incidents which happened on Everest, on 18th of April.
It was a very, very difficult time for me out there because I was there in the accident zone the day before. And to see those 16 gentlemen on that poster was just like, it just brought it right back again. To see him and know that he knew these guys, man, very sobering. Things just show up, and I know it's the right thing to do. Across the street from the stupa was this building where they had butter lamps on the top floor, and so I saw the 16 butter lamps. I didn't know where to do it. I didn't know how to have a ceremony. I just knew I needed to light 16 candles. There it goes. It was a way to release that emotion. That's how I said my goodbyes to the Sherpa. I'm okay with not having summited Everest. I was that close to being able to find out, but it wasn't meant to be. But now the story has changed, and now there's a different ending to the story than we had hoped, and maybe even a better ending this way. Oh, there they are.
Welcome to Terminal B. Please proceed.
I'm shocked that everybody's here. I'm glad to be home. It was quite the ordeal. It was just a heartbreaking disaster that happened. And so...
Let's see if we can get some live comments. Jim, you're live on KCRA 3. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. I'm very glad to be back.
Well, welcome back, and we'll let you get with your friends and family here.
Thank you so much.
All right, great. So this is a triumphant return for Jim Geiger, who's just come back from Mount Everest.
Sacramento climber Jim Geiger, who was trying to become the oldest American at 68 to climb Mount Everest, has finally arrived back home. And how does it feel to be back on American soil?
I'm thrilled to be back. A little disappointed that we weren't able to climb, but to have this homecoming is just pretty special. And I didn't expect anybody here except my daughter and my grandson. All these friends are here, and my goodness.
Give you a hug.
Goodness, good to see you. And I didn't even climb the mountain. So, just glad to be home.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Big hug. You're gonna be a mountain climber?
I'm not. I'm not because then I will die.
Oh, maybe not. I didn't die yet.
Yeah, with the book.
Oh, with a book.
Ow!
What I experienced over there, having not climbed Everest, is far more impactful on me than had I summited. The ego is the one that wants to be fed with all the accomplishments, the money, the gratification, all this, and that's so fleeting. If we get rid of the ego, then the love can come forth. And so I didn't summit, therefore the ego couldn't be fed. But now I'm experiencing this love, this outpouring of love for the first time in my life. Pretty special.